Good morning. So, 6th of October, the month is well and truly underway at the moment. And as you all know, there's issues on getting to Cape Town on time, and we can't change the start date at all. That's not an option. Start date is absolutely going to be 5th of November. So, we'll see how many people and boats get to the start line. Apart from that, it's a very settled fleet right now. There doesn't seem to be any dramas, which is kind of nice, and that's the way it should be in the trades and the doldrums, I suppose. So we're going to get straight into it and see what's happening on the course, see who's winning, who's losing, and all the rest of it. So at the back end of the fleet, we've got Godspeed trundling along, but slowing right down. Now they've hit the zone of doldrums, but they're right into it in terms of they've made a pretty quick passage down, and all of a sudden the doldrums are formed up behind them. You can actually see what's going on. You know, they've pretty much been sailing consistently all the way around, and there was a good breeze pressure up here. Now the doldrums have opened up behind them, so they've missed all that, and they've only effectively got, if it stays like this, the distance between them. Wrong one. The distance between them and potentially what might look like the southeasterly trades is only 230 miles. So that's certainly a good start for them. And it's means they've caught up ground considerably on Explorer, which is, well, they're still about the same, 450. So 450, 550, 60, 750. Yeah, they pulled out about 300 miles, but now it looks like Explorer's in there. So hopefully they'll get a move on, and let's see what's going to happen to Godspeed with the winds in the next 24 hours. Around about there, still a hole. So they've got 1 day of slow stuff. Second day, look at that. There's a little pressure cell coming up here, and this is a low pressure because they're still in the North Atlantic going counterclockwise. So that could work in their favor because they'll be into this and they'll get this sort of easterly breeze and they can work their way down. So that's quite interesting. Nice little cell there. It's going to move across. So they'll probably ride that down. They could be lucky here because as it heads them, they'll come across in this direction. So that's going to keep them moving, I think. Anyway, interesting thing to watch. Oh, I should have pushed that out and see what's going to happen here. Yep. Okay, they could, yeah, yes and no. They might have a couple of reasonable days and then they got some headwinds, maybe. Anyway, back here to Explorer. At least they started moving. 100 miles in the last 24 hours and 6.7 knots. So they're on the move, but the wind direction's not so good. But it is southeast. They're coming down. You can see some of the tracks of the other boats previously on that side. So that may twist later on. A bit hard to say. Sterner doing 6.9 and 160 nautical mile a day. So they pulled out 60 miles on Explorer. 169 miles in the last 24 hours for White Shadow, and they're going in the right direction. So that's looking good for them. And Galliana with Secure is doing 6.2 and 157 miles in the day. So Explorer slipped back another 60 odd miles on average with those three in this little group here. So we'll just stay focused on them for the moment, and we'll pull the weather forward a day. Pretty much the same. No wind in front of Explorer. So she's going to sail into this and park while the others are still moving. So again, Explorer's not doing too well with the weather side. And yeah, the others, they've got the breeze. It's slowly swinging around to the east so they can keep trucking along. So that's pretty handy for them. But Explorer, I think, is in for another slow day tomorrow. Anyway, Avrika heading out there, 6.8 knots, did minus 8 nautical miles yesterday, or in the last 24 hours, I should say. That's because they're moving away from both the mark, which is Cape Town, which is down here, and also the course. So don't read too much into that at the moment. Just look at their average speeds. Outlaw's finally starting to head down to the southeast now. They've got a bit better wind slant, 6.3 knots, minus 48 miles in the day. So don't despair. And I think you're going to see the same thing again for Evrika and Explorer. Okay, it's getting a bit lighter. But when it gets lighter and you've got headwinds, that works in your favor because the sea dies down and you can actually keep it cranked up a bit. And also it's a lot calm, a lot easier on the boats. So there's less than, it's probably only a meter and a half there. So that's pretty good. Actually, the sea state's down for all of the fleet, which is interesting. So that's the story there. Then Neptune, well and truly in the trades, 7.8 knots, 182 miles in the day. Triana, they'll be their usual 7.5. Oh, no, they're only doing 7.1. Jeepers, come on. Not the usual. They never slow down, these guys, which is crazy. So 164 nautical miles in the last 24 hours. And then L'Esprit d'Equipe is 7.8 knots and 149 miles in the day. So enjoying the ride for sure. Maiden, they're getting some 5.9 knots, 496 nautical miles in the last 24 hours. They're absolutely screaming. So it's obviously a glitch. And we'll send a note to Yellow Brick because there seems to be something happening in this zone here that's not giving us the right answers. We'll try and sort that out. But as I've mentioned before, it's not a dedicated software program that we're using, but that's absolutely a glitch for Maiden. That's something completely different. 161 nautical miles for translated, but 8.6 knots. So in real terms through the water, they're probably pushing it even higher than that. And Spirit of Helsinki, 8.5 knots, 166 nautical miles on the velocity made good, vector made good towards Cape Town. And interestingly, Penjuic has cracked off a bit by the look of it, for sure. So they've got a plan. I think they're budgeting on where the center of the high is. She must have got some information, and they've decided they've got to get down and under it, and they don't want to lose the breeze. So 9.5 knots, 78 nautical miles in the day. That's because they're sailing away from the Rumline course, and I'll try and determine what I think is going on here. But I'd say they've got a weather forecast. They don't want to carry on down here because they'll run out of breeze. They know there's a pretty solid gradient here, and they probably know, if they've been given a forecast, they'll know that this center of the high is going to quickly carry on down to the southeast. Oh, there we go. We're in the wrong weather again. Okay, on that you can see here Maiden and translated, and now L'Esprit d'Equipe is got this sort of 28 knot sort of trade wind. That's really pushing it in a bit, and the sea state will probably be up as well. Yeah. Okay, they're 3 to 4. So bouncing around, poor Marco, he's going to still be feeling crook, no doubt. And the others are just working their way to it. But for sure, Penjuic has paid off a bit, and they've got a breeze that's coming around to the northeast now. So taking on the quarter, pick up boat speed, go for it. And then... I'm surprised they didn't head across here now. I'm confused as to why they've done that, but they obviously have a plan. They're following this. I'm just seeing what's happening to the center of the high. Yeah, they could be coming across here. So it might be some heavy sea states there, and that could have been kicked up by currents. No, favorable current. So there's no head current. If you get the wind and current in different directions, it can make it stand up. That might have been another reason. So they're not doing it. They're doing it for a reason, and I'm not sure quite what, other than the fact they might be heading down to 40. That's a traditional thing. So they might not be getting any weather and just think we better go the traditional route, get down under 40 and then come across and around. So is that going to work into the play for the South Atlantic high? Yes, it's hanging across. There's going to be a band down here at 40, but this is only a few days away. This is on the 10th. Oh, boy. Then there's a big hole. Oh, maybe they're going for this. Oh, I got no idea, because they'd hook off the back of that and head down. So that'll push them down and around. But I think their ETAs are slipping back now towards the 17th. Anyway, it's all going to be tactically very interesting now to see what happens. I'm going to keep this one short and simple. We'll come back here and see what the comments are. Where do we go here? There might not be many comments because it's... what have we got? Paul, morning. No comments there, so that's easy. Yeah, generally speaking then, just to go back to the tracker, it's all pretty settled. But there's things going to start happening soon. Certainly as the boats come down, this is where all of a sudden now you'll be thinking, oh, wow, that was pretty stable and steady back here. Just trade winds, doldrums, trade winds. So... very straightforward, not a lot more I can tell you, so I'm going to keep this one short, and we'll see you tomorrow. Just a tip off that it could get confusing for some of this, some of the following we have here. I'm not following some of the material we're putting out. I'm traveling all day Sunday, and now because bloody Air France changed all the flights, I'm traveling now all day on Monday as well. And then, so I won't be here, but the team are going to do the tracker on Sunday and probably Monday as well. So we'll see what happens. But if you're missing something, it's because we're starting to move down towards Cape Town. So we'll see you from there soon. I'll be back here again tomorrow, and we'll see what's happening at that stage. So thanks for that. We'll see you tomorrow.